Oh, good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah?
Okay, sir. Thank you. Let's go.
Just yesterday, just on Sunday, I came back from the US, and my younger brother told me an agency wants to see me, and I saw him yesterday on my way to Abuja. He said to me that the land, the company land, Nest Food Limited, the land they own for over 10 years, probably over 15 years, belonging to them, and some people just jumped into it and said they are the owner, that they have cut injunction, and that they are about to start demolition. I said, okay, to go to court. They won't demolish it without having proper documentation and everything. But yesterday he called me, he said they've removed the roof. They brought 3 tractors, 2,000, demolition everywhere as fast as they can. And I said, no. I'll leave Abuja this morning. Let me go there personally. He said all effort for them to enter there, they've been refused to even enter. And they've chased out the people who are living there. So there's nothing they can do. That's how I came from Abuja, my first time this morning from Abuja. I drove to this place, asked the people, who authorized it to demolish? They said they have cut injunction. That the owner gave them. I said, who is the owner? They said they don't know the owner. They just gave them. I said, who is the owner? They said they don't know the owner. Can I see the cut injunction and see who the owner is, the person who is now claiming is sued? They gave me the cut injunction. The cut injunction especially said unknown person. How can you sue an unknown person? I said the land belongs to you. A land with property. And within yesterday and today, they demolished the property. Look at it. They removed the roof, they removed everything. Okay, give me your proper documentation, demolition orders, because even if you want to demolish the house, you go to the state, they give you order to demolish, give you appropriate documentation, bring safety people and them, so that we know you're doing what is now. It's only while I'm here now that some people came and said they are safety order. What kind of country is this? How do you descend to this level of rascality? How can you show a non person? Enter somebody's land and everything. I've been here for 4 hours. I've not seen one person who comes and say, I'm the owner. 3 people or 2 or 3 people have here. Are you the owner? No, I'm not. But I'm acting on behalf. I said, so who is the owner? No name. You've not called the name. I said, but you know my name. I'm Peter Obi. I want to know the next person. So I can even approach him and say, please, this land belongs to a company that my brother is the majority shareholder. The country can't go on like this. We're looking for foreign investors. We're looking for investors. But look at how local investors are being treated. Is that how a country can thrive? This level of lawlessness, this level of rascality.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
You can see the equipment that are here. You can see things that are here. Nobody could remove anything. Is that how I come to work? They just came suddenly, started demolition. You know, if my brother didn't have a brother like me, they would. He wanted to enter here. They say, no, you can't enter. We have got injunction. What about got injunction that allows somebody to enter into another person's property? They seize him for removing his things and everything, and demolishing everywhere. What about got injunction is that? We are finished in the country.
This is disturbing and heart-wrenching. These anguished words of Mr. Peter Obi, a man who dared to challenge the APC in the 2023 presidential election. It lays a bare and a chilling truth. This administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu well states power, not to serve the people, but to crush those who stand in his way. From the demolition of properties to the harassment of activists, the suppression of communities, and the strangulation of dissent, the APC and Bola Ahmed Tinubu have turned Nigeria into a battleground where opposition is met with ruthlessness. This is not just politics, It is a deliberate, heart-wrenching assault on the dreams of millions, a betrayal of the nation's soul. Peter Obi's account of the demolition of his brother's property in Ikeja, Lagos, is a heart-wrenching illustration of how far the APC will go to punish those it perceives as a threat. A building, legally owned for over a decade by a registered company, was reduced to rubble without warning or due process. Peter Obi's voice, heavy with disbelief and pain, recounts his brother's frantic call, describing how security forces and excavators descended on the property like vultures, tearing it apart over a weekend without a shred of legal justification. When Peter Obi, a VIP, rushed from Abuja to Lagos, he was met with hostility. Security men barred him from entering, brandishing a supposed court judgment against an unknown person and squatters. No name was served, no demolition permit was produced, and no one took responsibility for the destruction. This scene described by Mr. Peter Obi is one of calculated chaos. Excavators operating under the orders of faceless powers claim ignorance of who sent them. For hours, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Obi stood at the side, pleading for answers, his phone number shared in a desperate bid to speak with whoever orchestrated this attack against his younger brother. No one called, no one came. The contractors, clocked in anonymity, and two men who later appeared offering only a vague suggestion to go to a police station, had nothing to show. No demolition order, no legal basis. This wasn't a mistake. It was a deliberate act of intimidation, a message to Mr. Peter Obi and his family. Oppose the APC and you will pay a price. As Peter Obi laments, if this level of lawlessness can happen to someone with a registered company and a legitimate means, what hope does the ordinary Nigerians have? His words cut deep, echoing the fears of countless citizens who live under the constant threat of a system that protects the powerful and punishes the powerless. Mr. Peter Obi's ordeal is not an isolated incident, but part of a broader, sinister pattern of persecution against opposition figures. The APC and Tinubu have repeatedly used state power to silence the voice of dissent, targeting anyone who dares to challenge their grip on power. Consider the case of Dele Farotimi, a lawyer, a huge voice in the society, who was weeks away from his home from Lagos to Ekiti State by the security forces. He was incarcerated without any court order. He was locked up for speaking up against the government. Look also at the case of Dino Melaye, a vocal critic and former senator, whose Abuja residence was raided in 2023 under flimsy pretext of tax evasion and illegal structures. Armed security forces descended on his property, intimidating his family and disrupting his life with no clear legal basis for the intrusion. Melaye, a prominent PDP figure, has faced relentless harassment, from harass to prolonged legal battles, all designed to break his spirit and silence his voice. The APC and Bola Ahmed Tinubu vindictiveness extends beyond high-profile figure to entire communities, particularly those suspected of supporting opposition parties. In Lagos, Tinubu's political stronghold, the demolition of homes and livelihoods has become a weapon of control. We all saw the destruction of homes and properties in Lagos immediately after the election, when Bola Ahmed Tinubu was heavily defeated in Lagos State. This is a heartbreaking example. Thousands of residents, mostly poor people and traders, watched helplessly as their homes were razed down. No compensation was offered, no alternative housing provided. These people, because of their support of opposition parties, was left homeless, their cries drowned out by the roar of bulldozers. The pain of mothers clutching their children amidst the rubble, the anger of fathers who lost their means of survival, and the despair of youth who saw their future crumble. These are the human cost of a government that rules by fear. You saw what happened to Landmark Beach. Because of his tribe, A $200 million investment was destroyed by the APC and Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. The excuse they gave, they wanted to site a coastal road project across that ecosystem. That beach was destroyed. But now, the coastal road project has been realigned not to pass through that same place they destroy. They destroy a $200 million investment because they are scared. The APC assault on Nigerians' democracy goes beyond physical destruction to the systemic undermining of democratic institutions. The 2023 election, which brought Tinubu to power, were marred by allegations of voter suppression, intimidation, and manipulation. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), meant to be an impartial arbiter, faced accusation of complicity as results were delayed, altered, or outright falsified in some areas. Obi himself has spoken of the abuse of my human rights simply for exercising his constitutional right to contest the presidency, a right that should be sacred in any democracy. The judiciary, once a beacon of hope for justice, has also been weaponized. The mysterious court judgment cited in the demolition of Obi's brother's property is a case in point. How does a court issue a ruling against an unknown person and authorize the destruction of a legally owned property without serving notice? This is not justice. It is a perversion of the legal system, a tool to punish enemies without accountability. Across the country, opposition figures face frivolous lawsuits, trump-up charges, and bias ruling, all designed to tie them up in endless legal battles and drain their resources. The APC vindictive tactics have consequences far beyond individual victims. They are strangling Nigeria's economy and future. Obi's reflection on a businessman who refused to invest in Nigeria is a dagger to the heart. Nigeria is a lawless country, the businessman told him. Until we have laws that protect people, nobody will invest in Nigeria. This is not an exaggeration. The demolition of legitimate businesses, the harassment of opposition figures, and the impunity of state actors send a clear message to investors. Nigeria is not safe. The World Bank's 2024 report on ease of doing business ranked Nigeria abysmally low, citing corruption, insecurity, and lack of legal protection as key barrier. When a man like Obi, with his impeccable record as a businessman and former governor, can watch his family's property destroyed without recourse, what hope is there for the small entrepreneur or the foreign investors? The economic toll is devastating. Nigeria's unemployment rate hovers above 33%, with millions of youth trapped in a cycle of poverty and despair. Foreign direct investment has plummeted, with companies like Shares and ExxonMobil scaling back operations, citing an unpredictable business environment. The APC obsession with crushing opposition has created a climate of fear, driving away the very resources Nigeria needs to thrive. Every demolished building, every harassed citizen, every suppressed voice is a nail in the coffin of Nigeria's economic dream. Nigeria stands at a precipice. The APC and Tinubu relentless targeting of opposition figures and communities is not just an attack on individuals, it's an assault on the very idea of democracy. The demolition of properties, the harassment of critics, the suppression of voters, and the perversion of justice are all pieces of a larger strategy to consolidate power at the expense of the people. But Nigeria is bigger than any one party or leader. It is the hope of 200 million people, the dreams of children yet unborn, the resilience of a nation that has survived wars. The time for silence is over. Every Nigerian, whether a market woman in Lagos, a farmer in Benue, or a student in Kano, must raise their voice against this tyranny. We must demand accountability, transparency, and respect for the rule of law. We must stand with someone like Mr. Peter Obi and countless unnamed victims of the APC wrath. Their pain is our pain. Their fight is our fight. Together, we can reclaim Nigeria's soul, building a nation where no one is punished for daring to dream, where justice is blind, and where democracy is more than a word, it's a way of life. A new Nigeria is possible, but only if we fight for it with every ounce of our heart. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.